welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be talking about what to watch on Netflix. Now everything I've either watched already or is just trash. So I'm here to tell you what is not trash today and give you some good shows to watch. Now this is just gonna be strictly shows. Next time I might come on here and tell you guys movies to watch and movies that I like, but today let's just get to the TV shows because I have quite a few. These are shows I think most people will watch and are very intriguing and not popular, but like most people will find them to be awesome shows. So let's just get into it. Number one is going to be Vampire Diaries. Vampire Diaries slash The Originals. Now I know a lot of people have like controversy or preconceived notions about Vampire Diaries, like it's a romance show or like a teen vampire show and stuff like that, but I think this can appeal to a more mature audience as well, being that most of the show is like very gory and it's more of an action show than it is a romance. Like it has a little bit of everything: comedy, action, romance. Basically the show is about a young girl named Elena in a small town and she loses her parents. After that, a guy named Stefan comes into her life and they end up falling for each other. Little does she know he's a vampire and things just get crazy from there on. I don't really want to spoil anything, but basically this girl's boyfriend is a vampire and he ends up pulling her into this world of vampires and witches and werewolves, and things get a little crazy. The writers have a good way of pulling you into these characters and making you really fall in love with them. Each character represents a different type of person, and that's why I think most people will like this show, because you get really invested in the characters and it's just good content. Like every single episode it's jam-packed with like action and drama and like, you know, it's like you need to watch the next episode. The show in the number 2 spot is going to be You. This show is called You. It's the guy Dan from Gossipgirl. I don't know if you guys ever watched Gossipgirl, but it is Dan. I forgot the characters, like the actual actors' names. Anyway, it's about a guy who is about in his 20s and he works in a bookstore and a girl walks in and he falls in love with this girl, basically like from love at first sight. Like he's infatuated with this girl, he wants to know more about her, and he starts to look into her life like on social media and things like that, and like gets really interested in who she is. Basically sneaks and like tricks his way into her life and into an actual relationship with her, and things go pretty crazy from there. He set up this whole thing to become her boyfriend because he's a little bit let me just say obsessive, without giving away anything else. It's another show that will keep you on your toes every single episode. There's something new, there's something intriguing, there's something you need to watch the next episode. Basically I think the writer was very good at making the first season amazing. Like the first season, it's only one season so far, but I think it's a really good show. Like OMG, this show will have your mind blown. Number 3 is going to be Gossipgirl. Gossipgirl. I don't know if you guys watch my channel like on a regular, you guys would know that Gossipgirl is one of my favorite shows ever. Gossipgirl is kind of like a teen show, but it is very mature. I wouldn't say it's for teens, I would say it's for like 21 and up, because there's a lot of drugs, sex, partying, things of that sort in the show. So I actually wouldn't recommend it to teenagers. I don't know, that's just me. I actually wouldn't recommend it to teenagers. I would recommend it to like people in their 20s and things like that. It's basically a story about a young girl growing up in New York City. She's from a wealthy family, gotten herself into quite a bit of trouble all throughout like high school and stuff like that, and she's trying to change her ways and be a better person. You know, she doesn't want to just be the Serena, the party girl and the girl that kisses a lot of boys and things like that. Like she wants, there's more to her and she wants to make better decisions. But she ends up meeting a guy named Dan, and while she's trying to pursue him, a bunch of things go wrong. She has a best friend named Blair, and Blair is like the epitome of popular girl. She's like Devil Wears Prada times 10. Like, she's like fabulous. Everyone bow down to Blair Waldorf. And she's just very intense, but she has a good heart that is kind of like messed up by what she's been through in her past. And yeah, Serena's her best friend, and they get into a lot of drama, but it's a show that is very realistic, I would say. Realistic in some ways not, of course, because not everyone is a rich teenager in New York. Realistic in the problems that they go through, like boys cheating, girls cheating, love triangles, as well as people money problems. Like, it's like that. Like, it's a real show. It's not like a fairy tale or anything like that, so you can relate to it, especially because all the characters have like some type of underlining story. Anyway, it's a really good show. That's why it's been so popular for so many years and so many people rave about it, because it is an actual good show. So I would say give it a chance, because it is number 3 on this list. Next show is going to be Travelers. Now, this is a newer show. I've only watched the first season of the show, and my mind is like basically it's a show about people who are from the future, and basically they take over people's bodies in the present, 2018, in the present, as like right when a person is about to die. They know, of course, because they're from the future, they know the exact time of death. So basically before the person dies, they kind of like hijack the person's body before they die. Do you get what I'm saying? So basically it's people from the future coming back into people's bodies to change the future, to work in the present to change the future. This show is really intense. I would say if you have any struggles with like mental illness, trauma, seizures, what else? Domestic violence, drug problems. If you get triggered easily, this is not going to be the show for you, but it is a very, very, very interesting show. It's jam-packed with action, a little bit of love triangles, but it is a very good show. I feel like if you like sci-fi shows, or like, what do you call those shows? Dystopian shows, or like books and stuff, like in movies and things like that, you will definitely like this, even though it isn't dystopian because it is in the present time, but it's people from the future. Anyway, it is a very good show, so definitely check it out. If you guys have not watched Dexter, where have you been? Dexter is so good. Now, Dexter has been on for years. Like, yeah, I don't even think it airs anymore, but I recently started watching it, and it's a ton of seasons, so it's great to binge watch. Dexter is about a man who is a blood analyst. He's a blood analyst and he works for the Miami homicide division, and basically he's a scientist. Basically he like studies blood spatter and homicide crime scenes to help the Department of Justice find out how people died. But he has a secret of his own, and basically that secret is he takes justice into his own hands. He kills people, and only people who are murderers, who do bad things, he takes it upon himself to kill them. It's really, really, really like filled with a bunch of drama and suspense, especially because he's doing this in a town where he works to literally bust murderers. He is a murderer himself, so he's trying to dodge, you know, people finding out about him, but also continue to do the right thing. And he's trying to keep working by this moral code that he has. If you like cop mystery type, detective type shows, you will definitely love this show because it is pretty twisted. It's like kind of like a Criminal Minds, I would say. Next show is Ozark. OMG, Ozark is so good. Like, Ozark blew my mind because it seems like it seems like a show that like not many people would like, or like it seems like a show like on the cusp is boring. It's about a family who, you know, just like a middle class family, daughter, son, mom, dad, and the dad is a finance advisor, the mom is like a stay-at-home mom, and basically what happens is the finance advisor gets himself into a little bit of a problem messing with laundering money for drug dealers, and basically they have to skip town because this drug dealer is looking for them and is looking to kill him and his family. So they have to skip town and like change their lives from this small town family to basically these hustlers that are, you know, protecting their family and ready to go to war with a whole drug cartel to protect their family, and a man just basically trying his best to get himself out of the situation that he's got himself into. It's a very good show. If you like drama, if you like kind of like Narcos or like anything like that, or you know, stuff like that, you'll like this show. I feel like Ozark is a show where it's not as fast paced. It's not as like every single episode I need to watch the next one. It isn't full with drama. It isn't full with action, but it is a very good show, and it does make you have to think. It's a lot of mystery. It's a lot of, you know, wow, someone would really do that. Like, I like the show. It's a good show. Watch it. Okay, so the last show, number 7, is going to be The 100. Now, I like this show. I've watched this show like back to back. Like, I actually binged this show for like probably 2 months. I don't remember, but I know I watched every episode back to back to back to back to back to back. Anyway, I like this show. The 100 is basically a dystopian show. It's basically a show about like hundreds of years from now, people live on a ship in outer space, and because the world is inhabitable because of all the like nuclear wars and things that have happened, so basically everyone lives in these ships in space because they're waiting for the earth to like grow back. They're waiting for the earth to get back to a place where people can actually live on it. The ship actually runs out of oxygen, and the ship won't be able to hold as many people, so they decide to take all of the people who are delinquents or who are like in jail, basically like young kids that are in jail. They send them down to earth to see if earth is inhabitable. These kids basically are left by themselves to defend themselves and just, you know, find shelter, find food. They have never seen Earth. They've only heard about it in stories and through learning about Earth and things like that, because they've lived in space all their lives, of course. So when they're actually on the Earth, it's crazy, and they actually end up losing contact with their mothership, and so they're really on their own. It makes me feel like, what would I do if I needed to survive like really harsh conditions, you know? Like, if I was just thrown in the wilderness, like, would I survive? Like, it's a really good show. This show is full of romance, action, suspense, mystery. I love this show. I feel like I would love the books even more. I think this show is actually based off a book, or yeah, I think this show is actually based off a book, but it's a really good show, guys, so definitely check it out. But yeah, those are my top recommendations for what to watch on Netflix. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you watch on Netflix, because I'm always looking for another show to watch. Yeah, before you go, don't forget to subscribe. Also, follow me on my other social media platforms. They will all be linked down below. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys next time.